2025 so far has been such an interesting time to be part of the animation industry because the rules of animation as we knew it have just completely fallen down in front of our eyes and are being rebuilt. And we're kind of deciding now what's the future going to look like. Have you seen Elio? Have you seen the lack of resonance that that's had with audiences? And then people saying that Sony Animation, while yes, still being a corporate giant, but not to the same level as Disney, has taken the animation industry by storm by actually telling a story that people care about. And I think that this past week with Knights of Guinevere getting over 10 million views in last I looked 6 days, it's crazy. Knights of Guinevere is an actual statement about Disney. It's made by a former Disney animator, and I'll go through the exact story today if you haven't heard it already, but I think that I would love to see how this can inspire and dictate some of these new rules that we have going forward. You actually do have to tell interesting stories, and you don't have to be employed by the biggest studios in the world in order for your work to be seen by millions. Before we get on with the video though, I'm going to give you guys a quick SketchTube update, so if that's not interesting to you, then you can skip to this time on the screen. Otherwise, if you do not know what SketchTube is, it's the social media network that I'm developing for animation. So I love talking about other animation related subjects and animation on this channel, as well as SketchTube's development, because it's gonna be the place to post your animations. No more YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, fighting with algorithms and AI and all of that. This is our home, this is our new home. So if you're an animator and that sounds interesting to you, definitely join the Discord. I'm going to be releasing a SketchTube trailer in a few months, and in order to make this, I was going to do a multi-animator project, so a map, and I need your guys' help. So if that is something interesting, you would like to participate and animate a segment of the trailer, there's a Google form down below. It's going to be open for another week, so until October 2nd. You can apply to that, and I'm going to message you on Discord if I would like to go forward. And then we're going to make a group chat and we can all decide how it goes together. So it's going to be a really fun way to get involved in the community. And lastly, the weekly theme is still going on, so you have until Sunday, October 5th to animate something in the weekly theme of apple picking. So in line with October coming around the corner and all those fall scents, I want to encourage animators that are in art block or just want some inspiration to go ahead with the weekly theme. And then you can post your animation in the weekly theme channel on the Discord. So if you have any questions about SketchTube, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's get on with the video. So why do I think that Knights of Guinevere is such a big deal and not just another pilot that everyone's excited about for a week and then totally forgets? Well, there's two reasons: who's making it and how it's being made. So in summary, Knights of Guinevere is a sci-fi psychological thriller set on a planet-wide theme park in the clouds, with a broken princess android at the center of the conspiracy. It was created by Donna Terrace with John Bailey Owen and Zach Marcus and produced at Glitch Productions here on YouTube. And how Glitch and Donna started working together is literally so iconic. So Glitch DM'd Donna on Twitter saying, "Do you want to be able to just work on whatever you want and get funded for it?" And then she was like, "Yeah." And that was it. As I said in the intro, this year has been very strange for animation. On the studio side, producers have been risk averse and everything's been really shaky. For example, Pixar's Elio struggled hard in theaters. The headlines called it the worst Pixar opening ever. Meanwhile, audiences are clearly hungry for stuff that feels fresh and creator-led. For example, K-pop Demon Hunters. It was Netflix's most popular film of all time, with over 236 million views by late August. And that's wild because it's not a Disney title. And I'm not saying that Disney is doomed or anything. I'm just saying that the center of animation is moving. And we'll come back to this later. So when people say that Disney is failing everyone, what people really mean is that they're venting about the gatekeeping and how long it takes for authentic voices to get seen. So let's take The Owl House, for example, which was what Donna Terrace had been working on when she was with Disney. It's an example of how Disney really doesn't care about its audience. The first 2 seasons of Owl House had so much popularity because it wasn't Disney's usual type of thing. It had a lot of LGBT representation and it felt more indie, and the storyline was a little edgy. And in season 3, it wasn't a normal season. Disney gave the animators 3 44-minute specials to wrap up the entire Owl House story. Fans assumed that it was because it was queer, but Donna herself said that it was more because the show didn't fit the brand, and the execs panicked on the format and strategy side. But it still hurts because It's, one of the only LGBT stories at Disney. And it's a cautionary tale for people that want to tell their stories at big studios. Most creators like Donna end up at big studios not because that's where they necessarily want to be. It's because that's where the budgets, the pipelines, and the healthcare are. And it actually parallels what Andy, an engineer at Park Planet, goes through in Nights. She's working for Park Planet and everyone hates her for it, but she's doing it because she needs to make a living and she needs to do her work. And it does provide a certain fulfillment to be able to do what you're skilled at and what you're passionate about. So even if you don't vibe with every single corporate decision, just like at Disney or just like at Park Planet, you go there because you want to ship out your product. But that's where Knights of the Guinevere dropping a glitch is such a big moment for indie. It's because a top indie studio is basically saying, here you go, here are the keys, make the cool thing. Indie isn't just like a cute thing anymore. It's the future of animation. And if you still think that indie means that there's like two creators in someone's garage, go look at Glitch's track record. Glitch's most popular title, The Amazing Digital Circus, which is really good by the way, definitely check it out. It exploded at over 600 million views over 4 episodes on YouTube. And also, Glitch is fully self-funded and independent. Built from a bedroom startup in Sydney into a 100-person plus studio that handles development, distribution, merch, all of it. So their business model is basically having merch, a platform that has some revenue, and smart licensing like Murder Drones being on Prime Video, instead of hoping that a network will greenlight you. The Digital Circus showed that path perfectly. So there was a pilot, it went viral, and then it got an opportunity for Netflix and then global merchandise. So what I'm trying to get across isn't that Disney is necessarily bad and evil, it's that other options exist. So where does Knights of the Guinevere fit into all this? Basically, it's the crossover. A Disney veteran creator making a new, weirder, older audience show with zero executive babysitting at an indie studio that already proved the pipeline works. And that's honestly why I'm so excited for this. The show itself looks really cool, but the meta behind it is even cooler. It models a path for other creators who are like, I have a thing that would never survive the notes at a big studio, but I still really want to create it. Now let's talk about the AI elephant of the room. I know a bunch of you feel the same way that I do. The more that AI clogs up our feeds, the more important real handmade animation feels. Indies can actually take swings here because there isn't like a 9-layer budget approval process. If something is too weird, who cares? Make it. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, you've learned for the next one. Something that I always come back to is small focused teams making insane quality over big studios. And it's because of coherence. When fewer people touch the thing, the concept doesn't get mushy. You can see it in Undertale and Deltarune, which is a parallel I keep on coming back to, where Toby Fox talks about how each chapter is basically building a whole game, but because the team is so tight, the tone stays laser specific. That's the indie advantage, and it totally applies to animation teams as well. I really believe that the next wave of studios is going to start online. Not with a boardroom pitch, but with a pilot, a map, a short, weird proof of concept that people find interesting first. And that's the lane that I want SketchTube to own for all of us. A clean, cozy space where your animation doesn't have to fight a dozen unrelated formats to be seen. You can tag your work the way that you want to define it without having like an algorithm decide where it should go. You can drop pilots or trailer slices and actually get animator brain feedback. And over time, small teams can build libraries, folders, and little audiences that are big enough to justify, hey, wait, maybe we actually are a micro studio. Glitch proved that the formula that a fandom plus merchandise plus platform deals can actually fund shows. And SketchTube obviously isn't Glitch, but it can be the ramp on where we find those first 1,000 true fans, and where a bunch of us can meet to collaborate and spin up projects that couldn't live anywhere else. And that's the goal. So a quick poll for the comments. If you want a whole video on creative ways to monetize your animation skills beyond just having open commissions, let me know. I can break down some examples of like what some studios like Glitch do to stay afloat. I think it would be very interesting also to tie into how SketchTube plans on helping you along that journey. So yeah, Knights of Guinevere matters because it's a really good story and a really good blueprint. Big studios will keep doing their thing, but the momentum, the fun, risky, like, hey, what if energy, that's clearly living online with the indies right now. And that's exactly where we are going to hang out every single day. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are interested in joining the map, again, remember to enter that Google form and make sure to join the Discord, become a patron if you would like some cool perks. And otherwise, let me know your comments and your suggestions for future videos, because I would love to talk about topics that you guys are like genuinely interested in stuff. So I hope you have a great week, and thank you for helping me build a better future for animation together. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!